Real quick, any changes to the agenda before we get started? I have one. Councilman Delavar has a sick child tonight, and he said that he would be late getting here, so I'd like to move his discussion, if we can, below the agenda bill discussions. If that's okay. Let's see. We'll start off with Councilwoman Poston.
That's the green building
Yes, the
standards?
green building standards,
Okay.
correct.
Actually, I think I've given everyone a little bit of an overview, so you may not understand what RTC is. RTC is the Regional Transportation Council. So this is actually sort of an overview of what that does. And as you can see, we're responsible, or at least the Board of Directors, in conjunction with the staff and with Dean Lookingbill, who's the Executive Director, is responsible for kind of coordinating major transportation elements in 3 counties in Southwest Washington, which would be Clark, Skamania, Klickitat. And I have to tell you that is an enormous amount of work, a lot of different components to that. So any project that is of major significance in Clark County has to be included in the transportation plan and the MTIP. And so we review those. And of course, money that's filtered in from the state and federal levels come in through the RTC and are coordinated. Some of the project priorities are coordinated through RTC and discussed and dispersed accordingly. So RTC is a good sort of a regulatory agency. In addition, there's a lot of studies that are done by RTC. We currently have like a TSMO study. We have, it would take me a long time, it's a transportation
System management.
yeah,
And operation.
which actually takes current technology, and we're trying to look at ways to improve traffic flow across Clark County using current technology, low cost. There's a lot of other things. The Board of Directors is made up of the 3 county commissioners, 2 reps from the city of Vancouver, 1 from Camas or Washougal, 1 from North County, 1 from Stevenson, Bonneville, or Port of Skamania, Klickitat County. Normally those from the eastern side of the jurisdiction, they have their own little subcommittee meetings, so we don't usually see them. We do often see Paul Pierce, who's a county commissioner in Skamania. Jeff Ham, who's the executive director of CTRAN. Don Wagner now being WashDOT. Don's now currently working on, has been moved to CRC, which is the Columbia River Crossing Group. A port commissioner, Oregon DOT, Jason Tell, counselor from Metro, which is Rex Burkholder, and the non-voting members, which are representatives, legislative representatives from the 15th, 17th, 18th, and 49th districts. And at least in the past 3 months, we have had, at every single monthly meeting, we have had 2, 3, sometimes 4 of those elected officials, because they really want to know kind of what's going on, where are we at, and what's happening. And so with that, I would like, if you have not been invited, the RTC, you know, Columbia River Crossing is just one component of what we have going on our slate, kind of on our plate and our agenda. And it is a long-term project. We do anticipate that the final EIS, which is the Environmental Impact Statement, will be out shortly. That's when some real grueling work starts on our part with a start. We're going to be starting to review financials. Where's the money coming from? How are we going to finance it? What's the mix of financing? And we're not there yet, but the FEIS will be one of the, it'll be one of the stepping stones to starting that conversation later on this year. Because this is a big project and there hasn't been a lot of, I would say, RTC board action, which is not to say there hasn't been a lot of work, but that work has been done by a lot of other agencies. So there is a workshop on July 28th, which I believe is Wednesday? Is that right? I get my dates mixed up. 11:45 to 1 p.m. At the Clark County Elections Conference Room. So that's sort of a light lunch, and it's just going to be a recap of where we stand right now and where we're going with the Columbia River Crossing project, the bridge project. So that being said, I think you all can read, so I don't need to explain this. And there is an overview. This project overview comes straight from the CRC website, and it kind of tells where we're at today. This is as of the end of June of this year. And it talks about the overview, the way the bridge is going to be designed, bicycle and pedestrian, and the project sponsors council, community involvement. It's very generic, and there's a reason for that, and it's because nothing has been set in concrete yet. It's all kind of a part of the flow. Currently, there is I would say probably the 10-lane option is the one that is currently getting the most buzz, but none of the other options for the Columbia River crossing, as far as 12-lane all the way through or not, are off the table entirely. Just to note that, I tried to pull a lot of things. I took a look at the tolling study, which was done, because that's something that John had wanted to talk about, tolling. And yet the tolling study is nothing more than that. It is a study. It looks at probably 15 scenarios. You toll 205 and 5, what if we do that? How about if we toll it at one flat cost? How about if we have variable costs? How about if we toll different times of the day? How about if we don't toll it at all? How about if we do this? And so it's 224 pages, and I'd be happy to send that to you if you like. But it's all conjectural, and it's all based on different scenarios. So you can kind of go in and look at that study and say, here's a study of what if we were to toll only the I-5 bridge, and we had variable tolling determined by the time of day. And currently in the draft environmental impact statement, the tolling cost is a $2 fee. How that pencils out in the future is determined by 100 different elements, but a great portion of it is what the final design concept is going to look like, how many interchanges they have, because it's more than just a bridge. It's an entire corridor that extends from well into Oregon all the way up to like 39th Street, and some of that has been discussed. Maybe we should remove this piece to reduce costs. So we're at that point in the Columbia River Crossing project where they've had the big plan, the beautiful bridge icons, and now we're saying, all right, let's get down to reality, let's hone this down. How can we make it efficient? How can we get the most bang for our buck? How can we make this happen? And of course, it has to have the full support